Hello, good afternoon, everybody. It's Craig Mama, Fathers on Cue. But welcome back to the channel. Um, Today, a couple of things. I haven't been on in a while, but I'm back in the saddle, and just wanted to give a shout out to my son. His birthday was yesterday, on June the 7th. He just turned 9 years old, so shout out to him. He's getting so tall. He was projected to be 6'7". So, and I put the pictures, I posted some picters on Facebook, Instagram. So check those out. Give them a shout out if you get a moment. And later this month, I have my oldest boy is going to be 14. So, and he is just about as tall as me, if not taller. I think it might be he got a little flat top like Kid and Play back in the day, like Kid. It's not that high, but it definitely makes him seem taller than what he is, but that's okay. He's still my baby boy. So the 29th of June, he'll be 14. So that's going to kind of lead me into what I want to talk about today is number one, with I would say over the last, I would say 20 years, the way the kids have, I guess, been off the chart as far as growth or whatever. And, you see so many younger kids that are a lot bigger, a lot taller, whatever, boys and girls, that you would think that they were older than what they are, but they're not. They're only like 13 or 14 years old. Pause for a drink. So that's kind of what I'm going to get into today. So a couple of years back, I worked at a group home out in Somerset County. So I guess today's topic is going to be called the takedown. Uh, and I'll get into why I call it the takedown. So group home, we have kids at the time when I was working there, 13 to 17 years old. The house could hold, I believe, 16. And I think at this particular time, it was maybe half full. So we had like four boys, 4 girls. And thinking back on this time, there was some situations going on, and if I'm remembering right, where a facility had closed, and we were getting kids that didn't necessarily fit the criteria for the group home that we were at. So they were funneled into into funneled to our facility. Anyways, so we had some. I can't even say different. Just a little bit more difficult, I guess, kids to deal with, and we just still had to do our job. But I noticed that we were getting kids that were a little bit more disrespectful, a little bit more didn't respect authority at all, and yeah, we just had to handle them a different way. So, anyways, I come in. I worked overnight shift into the morning, so I worked from 12 midnight to 8. So when I came in at night, you read what's been going on during the day and things of that nature, and the logbook, everything, whatever. And come to realize that these 2 kids have been really going at it all day. One was palm colored, and the other one was someone that looked like me. Young black kid, about 17 years old, and a young lady, she's about 14. Okay, of course, not going to use any names, but This young man was on his way home, uh, or he was leaving the facility within the next couple of days, and everything was set up for him to go. This other young lady, if I'm not mistaken, there was no timetable um, where she was going, or was she going to ever be released from um, the facility that we were at. So there was no timetable of reunification or anything like that, I believe, at the time. So this young lady really had a mouth on her. She really didn't care. I don't know if that was from circumstances or just the way she was, but yeah, she was a piece of work, so to speak. And during that morning, we had the job of, myself and another counselor had the assignment of waking kids up for well, mainly really me. I had the job to wake the kids up in the morning to get their day going, get them ready for school, and get them out the door, make sure they're on time for whatever type of pickup they had to get. So this young lady, she was refusing to go to school. I don't think she ever went to school over the time that the whole time she was there. Like I said, 14 years old. But, oh, excuse me. I don't think she ever went to school. So getting her up in the morning was just a piece of work, and it wasn't even worth it. So anyways, on this particular morning, this young man and this young lady were really not supposed to be talking to each other at all. They weren't supposed to interact in any kind of way. They weren't supposed to be pretty much in the same vicinity of where they could see each other. It had gotten to that point where, you know, the slightest thing would probably set them both off, and, you know, they would get into a verbal thing. So on this particular morning, they started out, and like I said, this young man, he was getting ready to leave. He maybe had, like I said, 2 days. I don't know where he was going to, but he was going to be reunified with a family member, I believe, or someone, a family member was going to take him. So unfortunately, on this particular morning, this young lady decided to make a remark. I'm not going to say it, but she made a remark, a derogatory remark towards this young man. And he flew into a rage like I haven't seen in many, many years, to the point where the reason why I call this the takedown is what it was. One of the things that many of you know is that when you're in facilities like that, where you're responsible for other people, etc., that are in your care, the one thing they tell you to do, well, not to do, is you're not supposed to touch them, right? You're not supposed to physically grab them, impede them, push them, do anything to them, right? So as a man, knowing where this young kid had the opportunity to move on with his life and gain a new perspective, because he was going to be out of the facility, had a chance to do some things with himself, had aspirations to do X, Y, Z. If he would have touched that young lady or hit her or something like that, that all would have been taken away immediately. Okay, let me just give you a perspective. When I was talking about my son earlier, how tall he was, this young man was probably about as tall as me, maybe a little shorter, maybe about 6 feet. However, he was he's in shape. I guess he liked to work out, whatever, hit his push up, do his dips, whatever. But he seemed like he was very athletic, and to be honest with you, when I had to make a decision because he was coming after this young lady, like he was going to put hands on her. So I just immediately I just tried to get in between them. But like I said, he had that look in his eye, and he was in such a rage that there was no other way but to like physically restrain him, like if I was fighting someone, because that's how much strength he put into trying to get at this young lady. So at first, I had a little trouble with him. I had a little struggle with him, and I don't know. I just believe that at the time, I didn't want this young man to throw his whole life away, because, like I said, he was 17, young man like myself. But you know, the way he looked, I believe he was going to be 18 within the next few months or so, something like that. So they probably would have no problem charging him with assault, or charging him as an adult, I should say, charging him as an adult. So I felt as though it was worth risking losing my job over to help save this young man's life, if possible. So that's why I labeled this video the takedown, because I mean, I didn't take him down. I actually took him and just removed him the best way I could into a room where it's kind of like she couldn't get in the room, but he wasn't going to get out of the room. And I stayed in there with him, and I had to talk him down, because there was, if there were like female counselors there, or because most of the time in the morning I think there was female counselors, there was no more male counselors. We basically, the male counselors worked for the 12, and the female counselors, most times female counselors on early shift, 8 to 4. So I was still there that morning. I don't know why I was still there, but I hadn't left yet. It was a little after 8, and I still hadn't left. But I was glad I was there at the time to prevent what could have probably been a tragedy, so to speak. But like I said, sometimes we have to be so selfless and just aware of what's going on, compared to, I know I can get another job. I'm not worried about that. You know, I guess that was what crossed my mind at the time. I wasn't worried about losing my job. I mean, I didn't, but there was a possibility I could have. But I felt as though this young man was worth it. I don't know what's going on with him now. I haven't kept tabs on him like that. This was more than 10 years ago, something like that. So it's something I've thought about from time to time, and one of the topics that I want to talk about moving forward in doing the podcast and the videos. So shout out to him. Hope he's doing good, and I hope this young lady is doing well herself, and she changed her ways, what have you, and she's doing better for herself as well. So, yeah, this one was called The Takedown, and like I said, sometimes you have to be selfless in situations where you might put your own self not so much in danger, but in a situation that may even get you jammed up too. So, anyways, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Please like, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell to get new videos when they come up. All right. I'm not gonna hit the outro today. I think I'm gonna make a new outro. So I'll just see you guys next time. Until then, talk to you soon.